headsets.
Yep, that does seem pretty convenient, Metals. Of course, we are casting these, ladies and gentlemen, with the Gamecom Plantronic Commander headsets. And I'm not going to lie, they're massive beefy bits of kit. If you just like discreet little earphones, I will admit those aren't for you. But if you happen to be particularly serious about your sound quality and you want a pretty darn good mic attached to the headset when you're gaming as well, I have to say they're a fantastic bit of kit to have. So these players, of course, are playing for some Plantronics headsets as well, but we'll tell you a little bit more about that after we let you know who's playing. Because spawning over here in the bottom right position of Whirlwind as our blue Terran player, ladies and gentlemen, he is none other than Lindzo. And he is going to be facing off against the pink Fluffy Zerg player in the top left-hand corner. Don't let the color deceive you. This is one of the strongest players in existence in the UK. Let's see if he can succeed in his bid to win 2 in a row. It is JonnyREcco.
Now, being Whirlwind in the cross-spawn positions, logic would tell us that this game is going to be a little bit longer. It certainly looks like Lindzo is going to be going for a command center first opening, so that means we should be getting into the mid-game quite nicely. Recco as well, probably going to go for a 15 hatch, 16 pull, because that's what you do against Terran. And I was actually talking about this on my YouTube channel the other day, Jorasa. Do you remember when 15 hatch became like the standard build of ZVT?
Well, that was a very long time ago, man. Like, I remember the transition happened. Let's put it that way.
I remember there was a point. Like, I know there was a point before it, but I can't remember what that point was. Wasn't it like 14-14 pool gas or something?
Yes, and that's because a lot of that's because the early game aggression, especially with 11-11s and stuff like that, was so prevalent that for a while Zergs weren't able to get away with defending stuff like that with a hatch first. And then very slowly, as the matchup got figured out, as Zerg started working out how they can better defend, the Queen buff probably helped a little bit to that as well. Hatch first started becoming the norm.
I think it's been such a long time, though. This has literally been the staple of Zerg play for, to me anyway, what seems like eternity. But this sort of command center into the racks, I remember really solidly the times before Startail's Life's very aggressive early pool against Terran on Whirlwind was popular.
Yeah.
This command center would always be at the natural. And then Life started rushing people, and now it became basically standard. You have to make it as part of the wall-off, just to make sure you don't die to any early aggression flat out.
Yeah, I mean, like, if there is any opening where Zergling Control can really pick apart a build, you can bet good money that Life is going to be the first person to really put that to the test. That guy's early game aggression, and more importantly, his individual Zergling Control is just superb, and the fact that he continues to use those low-tech units throughout the game to show us that they can still be just as effective. A couple of drones being transferred now, initially getting pulled in case they needed to surround that SCV, in case it was going to build a bunker, but it's become apparent it is just a scout.
Yeah, this is all very good. Nice control there by Recco. Gets that SCV half killed. Completely killing it with just 2 Zerglings would be really tough. Meanwhile, we do see the Lindzo just floating down his orbital command here, getting Reactor on. Got his factory coming down, so it's probably just going to be the CC first into Hellions. Nice safe, nothing too crazy, and should just result in us getting quite happily into the mid-game, assuming, of course, the Recco doesn't take catastrophic damage from the Hellions and loses all his drones or anything.
It can always happen. Of course, having those queens out early game in ZVT has made this just a little bit more difficult because Hellion Banshee openings, both of them are quite well countered by queens, and that was very, very popular as well, if you remember, in the ZVT metagame for a while, just going up straight up to something like 6 queens ASAP to make sure that Terrans cannot possibly harass in any way, shape, or form. But nowadays, we see a little bit of a shift away from that in favor of just getting that macro and that tech up as soon as possible as well, because after Heart of the Swarm, that seems to have become a little bit less popular, especially since Terran players started rushing out that armory to get those Hellbats.
Yeah, but of course Hellbats, after getting nerfed, they become less popular, but
yep.
We'll see what's going to happen here. We do see the 3rd hatch is coming down here for Recco, but the 3rd CC also coming down from Lindzo, who's playing this, frankly, insanely greedy. He's only got 2 Hellions out on the field at the moment, and he's already going straight up into that 3rd CC. Recco could go for a big 3-base play and do very nicely against this, but
oh, he might.
He hasn't identified it yet. That's the problem. He needs to be able to see with this Overlord sitting at the 3rd that 3rd command center's there. He does have the Roach Warren coming down.
Exactly. And I think that Roach Warren coming down could potentially signal a little bit of an aggression here, because we see 8 more links coming in now as well. The first 2 Hellions are going to be moving out across the map. They will actually get into the natural, or no, he's actually opting to move away with that. Let's just keep an eye on whether, for example, a Baneling Nest comes out for JonnyREcco, because he's got a lot of creep spread right now, and the Hellions don't yet have vision of the 3rd base location. JonnyREcco doesn't have to do a timing, of course. This is entirely optional at this stage. We'll be keeping an eye on the production tab, but he simply could, and a lot of Roaches with Queens defending are going to do very well against these Hellions as well.
Yeah, they will. We've even got a second bunker coming down here from Lindzo. Clearly not feeling too comfortable with what's occurring. Very unlikely to be a timing now, though, from REcco. At least a quick 3-base rush because of this double evolution chamber coming down. These 4 Roaches purely defensive. And with the double Queen, we'll complete the wall off at the ramp, meaning that those Hellions are only really going to be a threat to the 3rd hatchery. So, really like this play. And Lindzo is actually reading this as being super aggressive because he hasn't scouted the 3rd base. He knows that he doesn't actually know that that's down, so he's thinking, okay, I've seen these Zerglings out, I know the Rotoron's there, he's going to bust me off of 2 bases, builds these 2 additional bunkers, and this is just going to mean that Lindzo is going to be exceptionally defensive for the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting as well. I don't think that a push is incoming for the reasons you said. I mean, the double evolution chamber indicates that JonnyREcco is actually just going to be going for some upgrades, and these Hellions might soon spot that that's the case and go, oh, hang on a second, I don't need to defend as well. But Lindzo's doing okay, given the circumstances. I love the Marauder in the front bunker as well. It means if a Baneling bust did come in, and he manages to bust against that wall, that when the Banelings continue to move in to kill off the infantry that were inside it, it'll take more of them to kill off the Marauder as well. So, just nice little bits and pieces here from Lindzo, but he needs to make sure he knows what his opponent's doing.
Now, Lindzo has landed down the 3rd orbital command here, but the Overlord for JonnyREcco cannot quite see it. So, this is still going undetected. The Baneling Nest is coming down for REcco, as well as the Spire, though. So, Zergling, Baneling, Mutalisk is going to be the mid-game composition. Is there anything really to deal with this? Well, there's no missile turrets down at the time being, but there are, of course, the double engineering base starting the 1-1 upgrades. So, we're going to have to keep a close little eye out on what precisely Lindzo is going to do and how he's going to be able to defend against those Mutas, and also how much REcco commits to them, because ooh, he's building 2 Baneling Nests.
Wow, that's a lot of Banelings, man. He's going double Baneling Nests. He's going to be able to produce double the number of Banelings. This is going to be... Or maybe you morph a Zergling and it becomes 2 Banelings. Wouldn't that be scary?
That would be terrifying.
Splitterlings in multiplayer, ladies and gentlemen. It's happened.
Now, the only thing
he's
worse
cancelled
would be
one.
the
He's cancelled one.
Banelings.
I think he's cancelled one.
Banelings are OP.
Has he cancelled one? Let's check.
No, it's still there. One finished.
Oh, okay. Cool.
He probably hasn't looked at it yet, so that's probably why he's just sitting there, just waiting. We'll have 1-1 down though. Also, this is actually a really good point. Someone in the Twitch chat just said, Josa, why do Marines' weapons shoot faster when they get combat drops? Which kind of makes sense because, like, they're machine guns after all. How would it do anything? It's not like you could pull the trigger faster because that won't work.
I don't think they shoot faster because at the end of the day, if you think about it, a Marine shoots, I believe, once every 0.86 seconds.
Yep.
Right? Now, machine guns fire a hell of a lot faster than that, guys. I could fire a pistol faster than that. That's not even fair. So what that is, it's a representation of how crap the Marines' aim is, as we see a couple of Widow Mines get taken out in the middle of the map. So perhaps... Oh, here comes Lindzo.
Coming in. This is a big thing.
Reinforcements from both sides, though. Yep, Lindzo is going to be able to retake. So what that is when Marines get stim, they focus more, and more of their shots hit. I wouldn't say it's because they shoot any faster. So there you go. Jaro dropping the knowledge bombs that technically aren't even knowledge bombs.
That's the way you said it, though. It makes it seem like that's somewhere written in lore.
Science!
Just like, you go to the help menu and look that up, and yeah, it's just like, boom. That is what Blizzard's official answer on the statement is. But yeah, anyway, Mutalisks are out, Banelings are out. The infantry for Lindzo, though, is 1-1, so upgrades equal 2-2 is also ahead of that of REcco's by a few seconds. That's going to really help Lindzo with this push if he waits for about 70 seconds to get that down. So
no medevacs with this army. How is he going to heal this if JonnyREcco decides to go for it here? And oh, good God, he's deciding to go for it here. Here come the Banelings as well. At least he's splitting off a creep. Lindzo doing an excellent job spreading so far, but look at how many mutas are here behind us. He has to be very careful. The medevac, only one of them left, and this infantry is at about half health, so he will be able to come in and get some more damage done. But, oh, if he overstims, it's so easy for him to overcommit here, especially with the mutas out on the field.
Yeah, it's the medevac that's causing the big problem, because if he stims too much, he just doesn't really have any support. Even with these 2 additional ones, there's still only 3 medevacs to heal this much infantry. Gonna be tough. Plus, these are the first 2 Widow Mines, Jorasa. And without the Widow Mines there, a big flood of Banelings would be terrifying. There'd be no way to deal with them. But with now the Widow Mines down, all you've got to do is basically back away to them and hope the Widow Mine gets some good connections. But this is really nice. Look at this splitting. We've got the Mutalisks coming in from the side. The Banelings from the back, though, do get hit by the Widow Mines, and that's exactly what I was saying. But the next wave of Banelings are now coming. Johnny taking out the medevacs, taking out the infantry, and he cleans up that push, easy peasy. And all the reinforcements as well going to get picked off.
Oh no, the Widow Mine's actually getting dangerously low on health there, but they weren't actually targeted down, and all 3 of them go off. Managing to pick off a decent number of units. Lindzo continuing to try and pressure JonnyREcco here. The supplies are unbelievably close. It's 144 to 153.
Well, we do have Rico still pumping out 18 more Banelings. He's going up to Hive as well. Plus, don't forget that JonnyREcco's sitting at 85 drones. He's in a good spot. The Banelings are morphing. Those connections going to be essential. The Widow Mine's a little way back, so not actually going to be too helpful. And with the decent Mutaflock with 15 of them,
oh, here we go.
Oh, nice Widow Mine hit there. But yeah, this is still getting pushed back. I'm starting to fear the Lindzo overcommitting because the Mutaflock is not getting whittled down.
Yeah, exactly. The Widow Mines didn't do quite as much a second time around as they did the first, and the medevacs get picked off as well. That's a lot of gas you have to try and contend with. And if these medevacs go down to the mutas as well, I think Lindzo could be in a big spot of hurt here because JonnyREcco's momentum is going to take him all the way to the front door of the Terran base.
Yeah, these poor Banelings finally dying, meaning they're not going to get dizzy. They rolled the entire way across the map, but yeah, the Mutalisks are still up, and all while they're up and running, it's going to be concerning because yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
That's a great point. Why don't Banelings get dizzy?
I thought you were about to say something about the game then.
This is the most important thing about this game right now. Why don't Banelings get dizzy?
Someone should just tweet that to SC2 quotes, like at SC2 quotes, at Maddles91, at Jorasa. Why don't Banelings get dizzy when they
yeah, he almost said his old Twitter handle. Guys, Maddles is no longer Maddles SC2, he's Maddles91, because he's actually moving into casting League of Legends full-time starting next week.
Am I? Did I get a job at Riot? Awesome!
That, or he's matching his YouTube channel because you can't change the name of a YouTube channel. We now have a little bit of really aggressive behavior coming out from JonnyREcco here. Excellent baiting out, though, by that Widow Mine. Not going to be able to fire off against a massive clump of links, only losing a single one here, and that's a lot of Banelings morphing in near the 4th base location. Lindzo playing a very macro-oriented style at the moment, but will it pull off? Look at the Banelings!
Oh, so many Widow Mines there. How Rico didn't take more losses there, I do not know, but the Mutalisks, they're cleaning everything up. This the 4th base is definitely going down. That cannot be saved with so many mutas there, and Lindzo is looking to be in a bit of problems. Yeah,
this is looking rather difficult for Lindzo now at the moment because the Banelings are always just at the back of the army for JonnyREcco. It's so difficult for the Widow Mines to automatically target them. It's so difficult for the Marines to try and get some pot shots off on them beforehand. He's moving into the 3rd base now where there is at least a bunker. He's going to try and pick off as many of these as he can, but the Banelings are in the mineral line. They're not interested in the Marines. One goes off. Good splitting from Lindzo so far, but he can't keep this up indefinitely. Still 3 Banelings surviving, and jeez, that's a lot of worker kills.
Yeah, grand total now goes to 27. We do have more reinforcements coming in here, though, for Lindzo. He's going to try and get back up, but he's pretty much, well, he's 40 workers behind. The 5th base is up for JonnyREcco as well. The only thing that I do want to say Rico could have been doing a bit better is his creep spread. But having said that, Lindzo has done a great job whenever he's pushed out of getting some scans off to push it back. So Rico just trying to get it forward. Once he gets sort of past the watchtower, it's going to be exceptionally difficult for Lindzo to move out. Plus, there's Ultralisks on their way out. There's already a few on the field, actually. 5 of them, with 3 more coming. So this just means with 3-3, with chitinous plating that's got started, things going to look very scary for Lindzo.
Exactly. We have 26 Lings on the way, 3 Ultras already on the way as well, in addition to those already out. And Widow Mines, I mean, they're going to do good damage against these units, but it might not be enough to push them back. Look at everything that JonnyREcco has right now is just geared towards destroying this marine-heavy army. Look at the splash damage from these Ultras. They are om-nomming away at them, and there's only so far back you can kite without the healing ability for several medevacs. The medevacs just get taken out so quickly this game, and Lindzo just doesn't have the time or the opportunity to heal.
Yeah, simultaneously, this 3rd base is getting ransacked while the Natural is getting sieged. We'll force the Ultras back for a moment or two, but look at what's coming out behind this. Pathogen Glands finished up. Infestors are going to be out soon. As you said, Joris, perfectly rightly, that JonnyREcco is just making infantry killing force right now. And there we go, GG well played. JonnyREcco takes game number 1.